made no indication that it will be extended into parts of Cook County here, because you can see the unusual shape of it. It's for Will County only. Cook County not included in this tornado warning. It has a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45. But as you can see, these, especially when we get into these shades of purple, we're getting very heavy rainfall out of this. And some folks have indicated it's been kind of a muddy rain because of the haze and the dust and the smoke that's been in the atmosphere. So that might be something to get ready to wash the car after we're done with the snow tomorrow. But again, we have that tornado warning. And I was just going to,
they've extended it.
They have extended it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as you can see, let's put the shear rate on here. And again, this was the part that I was referring to before, because that rotation had that S shape. So they have now included this tornado warning. Let's put the box up here so that we can see how long that is. That tornado warning goes until 6 o'clock this evening. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of activity associated with it. We are going to put the warnings on there again and show you what's going on here. So we have this tornado warning that continues until 6 o'clock this evening. We're, again, detecting this rotation. National Weather Service has not had any confirmation of a tornado touchdown. However, we're looking at this rotation continuing to move its way on off to the east-northeast. So right here, this is the state line between Illinois and Indiana here. So it does include parts of Lake County in Indiana, as well as far southern and eastern Cook County and parts of Kankakee County, as well as the storm continues to move its way on off to the east. But again, we're gonna zoom in on the rotation that we're seeing right there around Steger and Crete, because as you can see, it's beginning to take that little bit of an S shape, and that's the kind of a indication with this S shape that we have the rotation that's occurring in the atmosphere. And basically what's happening, we have winds going in one direction, winds going in another, right next to one another when we have that rotation. And this is the kind of thing that the National Weather Service and the software that we have detects to be able to bring you this tornado warning. So again, we're looking at strong to, at times, extreme rotation out of this. The storm continues to move its way on off to the east-northeast at around 45 miles an hour. Here, this is an old track here, but I still want to show it just because it brings a little bit of relevance in here, because it does have, you can see the Barron Tornado Index now at 2.7, meaning that this one is a little bit stronger as far as the rotation that it is detected, and a little bit more of a likelihood that we have the potential of seeing perhaps a tornado touchdown. Right now, it's only Doppler radar indicated. But again, Matson, Steger into Lansing, East Chicago, Gary, and also into Hobart. Now's the time to get into that safe space, get into that safe place, because we're looking at this tornado warning continuing until 6 o'clock. It's already produced some very gusty winds, some hail at times, and of course with the rotation. And I don't know if you had an opportunity to watch the NBC 5 News earlier this week when we showed you some of the storm tracks. They're not straight. They veer a lot. They weave, they move in arcs. They're not a straight path. So when we show you these straight lines, that does not necessarily mean that that's the line that these storms are going to take. They do rotate. They do fluctuate and flutter one direction and another. They're basically following the whims of the air that's currently there, as well as the upper air patterns, in order to determine what kind of path that it takes. Aisha?
Yeah, I just want to break really quickly, Pete. So I'm monitoring the National Weather Service chat just so that we can bring you some information a little bit sooner, right? So the National Weather Service, they're monitoring the possible tornado in southern Cook County. So this is between nearing Homewood, Hazel Crest, and Thornton within the next few minutes, and South Holland within the next about 5 to 10 minutes. So everyone that's in this red box here, so again, Harvey's here, Thornton, Hazel Crest, this is where there is a possible tornado right in this area here. Again, Harvey, Hazel Crest, Thornton. Notice though, even into Indiana, you're still under this tornado warning because this entire line is moving off to the north and east about 45 miles per hour. So Calumet City, you're in this tornado warning. Go ahead and get to your safe place. Hammond as well as Linwood also in this tornado warning. So I'm going to put a track on this entire line because as I zoom out the view, what you'll notice is this tornado warning box. It includes southern Cook County, it includes eastern Will County, and it also includes part of Lake County, which includes St. John and also Cedar Lake. Now, I'm going to put a track on this entire line. It's moving off to the northeast about 45 miles per hour. And again, these times are pretty relative here, so we'll give or take about 30, 45 minutes. But you can see the timing, 5:41 in Hammond, Calumet about 5:50, Hobart about 5:55, moving into Valparaiso about 6:11, and then New Durham about 6:20. So just a heads up, go ahead and find your safe place if you're not already there, and make sure it's really important too to get something to protect your head, whether it be a helmet, a thick blanket, or even a thick pillow. That's really, really important just in case we get a tornado on the ground and there is debris being lofted. Now, at the moment, this is all radar indicated, so there has been no indication that a tornado is actually on the ground again at the moment. But this is the storm that actually prompted this tornado warning, because there has been some rotation, and this is what Pete and I were talking about with the first tornado warning, that we would not be surprised if it was extended, because there has been rotation all along this line here, and that's what the National Weather Service found to prompt this tornado warning. So if you're in southern Will County or southern Cook County, if you're in eastern Will County, and if you're in, we'll say, western Lake County, you're under this tornado warning. I can zoom in a little bit closer to Pete. Did you have something really quickly?
Yeah, a lot of folks are reporting, including Northwest Indiana, also in Lansing. They're reporting that their sirens, the tornado sirens, are going off. So if you can hear those sirens, make sure that you go to your safe space. If your significant other, anybody you know that is on the road and headed home, and they're going to be heading anywhere within this location, give them a call. Tell them to pull over, hold fast. Make sure that they're in a safe spot, because you don't want to be driving around, because, again, we have some very heavy rain associated with all of this. But here's a storm track as far as this goes. Olympia Fields at 5:37, Flossmoor also at 5:37, by Markham 5:38, and continuing to slide its way on eastward here. So Calumet City, East Chicago, Hammond, Highland, Indiana, all in the path of this particular cell that I have here that is induced some very heavy rain. And I'm going to remove the rain, and I'll put the shear swath on for you so that you can see the rotation that's been associated with all of this. It continues to have a pretty good shear associated with it, as well as that S shape. So as you can see, we're looking at some pretty good rotation out of this as it moves its way now from southern Cook County and also parts of Kankakee County right along here. That is the county state line, rather, getting ready to move into northwest Indiana here. So you're right on Dyer there. Just to give you a little bit more of an indication, here's Route 30, and right here is 41. A little bit further to my west, there's I-65. So if you know anybody who's traveling, especially 65 and a little bit points eastward, tell them to pull over. Tell them to hold fast. Make sure that they're in a safe spot, not pulling over on the highway, certainly not pulling over underneath an underpass, but making sure they're in a spot where they're not going to be in traffic, where they can wait for this storm to blow its way on through. Because, again, we have this tornado warning. It continues until 6 o'clock this evening, and you can see it extends all the way up toward the lake and then down further south, a little bit further south of the bottom of the map here. So, again, we're looking at St. John, Dwyer, Linwood, Lansing, Hammond. All these locations, as it moves along Route 30 here, are looking at the impacts of this tornado warning. Now, this is also a location where a dust storm advisory was issued. So what you're likely going to see in advance of the heavier rains, when we see these winds, you're likely going to see some dust blowing around as well. That might obscure your line of sight as far as driving goes. So be advised of that as well. The latest scan has now moved the rotation a little bit further off to the north, but again, we continue to have this tornado warning that is in effect until 6 o'clock. There you go, and we're going to slide this further south, and you can see even back into parts of Kankakee County. We're also looking at some decent rotation here. So most of the rotation, as I slide this out, is getting ready to head into Indiana, northwest Indiana, a little bit further north. Very weak rotation being detected. Nothing that would spawn a tornado warning, the good news. But we're continuing to monitor this location right here. So you can see the box that's blinking here in red. This is where we have a tornado warning until 6 o'clock this evening. Find your safe space. Make sure you take your phone along with you. And if you're watching and you're streaming this, just know that the information that we've been bringing you as far as the storm times goes, when you're looking at where this radar information is showing up, it's delayed a little bit. Streaming is a little bit has a little bit of a lag time before it gets from what I'm talking about here to your phone. So that means you've got a little less time to take cover.
Pete, we've got a new warning.
Okay.
Do you see it just south? So it does include Kankakee County, eastern Kankakee County, and also into parts of Lake County. You can see, obviously, it's southern parts of Lake County and into Newton County as well. So we've got a new tornado warning. I want to actually find the info for you really quickly here. So let me zoom in a little bit closer.
6:15.
6:15, there we go. So this is the new warning here until 6:15. That does include Newton County. It does include parts of Lake County and even eastern Kankakee County. Now I want to go to the actual storm because if you can see here, we've been watching this entire line. This entire line, we've been seeing rotation along it, right? And so as this continues to move off to the east, just a heads up, the National Weather Service has issued that warning. So go ahead and get into your safe place. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer here just to show you who's being impacted by this particular warning. So we're talking Lake Village, that's in Newton County, also Sun River Terrace, Moments. You're in this warning at the time. Farther to the south, Hopkins Park, St. Anne, also in this warning. And again, this does include Kankakee County. Pete, do you want to look at some of the rotation with this storm, and then I'll see what reports we can get in?
Yeah, first I've got a broader view of the rotation that we're looking at. Here's our first one, this tornado warning that you can see the rotation here, and we'll zoom in on in a moment, is getting ready to head into northwest Indiana, into Lake County. That one goes until 6 o'clock this evening, so another 20 minutes. The one a little bit further to our south here, that includes parts of Kankakee County, also into Lake and Newton counties in northwest Indiana. That one goes until 6:15. So let's take a look first at the storm that is moving into northwest Indiana. You can see the rotation. It's not as pronounced as it once was. That doesn't mean a whole lot here as far as you could breathe a sigh of relief. I still want you to go to your safe space, even in Gary, New Chicago, Hobart, Merrillville. Be prepared, because this storm, even though it might not be tornadic, it's certainly going to have some very gusty winds associated with it. And also you can see the frequent lightning. So this is storm number one as far as the tornado warnings go. And I'm going to slide this a little bit further south so that you can get an idea of what we're looking at here. And this is storm number two. And you can see the rotation, especially just east of Moments. Here's the state line right here, getting ready to head toward Schneider here in northwest Indiana. Here's Route 41. A little bit further to the west, we have I-57 rather. So this storm also continues to move its way on off to the east at around 45 miles an hour. The good news, this is a lot of agriculture here, but still, if you're anywhere in this location, if you have anybody that you know who's traveling down 65, tell them, hey, hang on for a little while. Pull off the highway at a safe spot, hang out at a truck stop for a little while, take a break, let this line of thunderstorms pass through, because in addition to the gusty winds that we've seen out of this and the potential for a tornado with the rotation that's associated with it, we've also had very heavy rain and gusty winds, as well as dust. Dust has been kicking up. That's why we've had a lot of reports of people looking at a yellow or orange sky because of the conditions out there. It's because of all of the dust from the dust storms and wildfires that have been to our south and west. So we're looking at a very unusual weather as far as the storms go. In addition to the heavy rain, the gusty winds, we're adding dust to all of that. Let's take a look once again up to the north here. So Highland, Indiana, you're getting ready to see that heavier rotation into Hammond, also into East Chicago and Whiting. Whiting, not part of the warning area. However, still, this is something that you want to take cover from, because we've had very heavy rain associated with it. And again, along I-90, I-94, I-80, along this area, very busy stretch of roadway. If you know anybody who's traveling along it, have them pull over to the side of the road, have them pull off at the next exit, not the side of the road, and certainly not underneath an underpass, but have them pull off at the next exit and hold tight, because we're looking at, again, very heavy rain associated with this. Aisha, do you have any more information coming up here on these warnings?
Yeah, you made a good point, Pete, because it is rush hour, right? So we're getting into that rush hour time frame, or we've actually working through rush hour time frame. But if you are about to leave home and you're about to travel, I just want to point out this particular storm. So especially if your travels take you farther south, if you could pull off, like Pete mentioned, that will be your best bet, because not only is this storm rotating, but it has been producing some very gusty winds and also some heavy rain. I just want to show you, so this is the tornado warrant storm, and I want to show you exactly where it is going, because it's moving off to the northeast about 45 miles per hour. So it's going to move into Hobart just about 5:55, in Valparaiso just about 6:18. It moves into LaPorte just about 6:41, and then Olive, that's just after 8 o'clock. So this entire line of storms, severe storms, is moving off to the northeast pretty quickly. So that's the good news. If we can find the silver lining, it is moving pretty quickly, but it is a tornado warrant storm. So this is that tornado box here. And so if you're in that box, again, eastern Kankakee County, also into parts of Newton and farther southwestern parts of Lake County, you're under that tornado warning at the moment. So you can see here, Moments, also St. Anne. Go ahead, you should be in your safe place already. Even into parts of McKellen, we're seeing that the tornado warning does include you as well. So go ahead and find your safe place if you're not there already. We will bring you updates as we get them, and we want to make sure that we are sharing any information that we do have with you as quickly as we can, Pete.
All right, the good news is the National Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning for parts of Cook and Will County. So right here is the Illinois-Indiana state line, the western border of this warning area. So we still have a sliver of tornado warning, and again, it is associated with the rotation that you're seeing on the map here. We'll zoom in on it. It still is maintaining that S shape that I've discussed with you that indicates the rotation. But as you can see, still strong rotation being reported by this. The good news is we haven't had any indications of any sort of shear marker being dropped because of this. And let's take a look at the data from this. And there is no Barron Tornado Index associated with this, but still the rotation, as you can see, still present. So take the advice that we've been giving you. Find your safe space and stay in it for a little while longer here. Munster at 549, Griffith at 550, Highland also at 550, as well as Hammond. So even though most of the towns that I listed there are outside of this warning area, still you want to take caution, be prepared, because we've been looking at a lot of very heavy rain out of this, gusty winds, some dust at times, and you can also see some frequent lightning. You know, anybody outdoors, make sure they're indoors. There is no safe space outdoors in the event of a thunderstorm with the lightning around. Let's take a look at, again, this current tornado warning. This one is until 6:15. You could see Linwood, Munster. That's actually the old storm track. Let's put the new storm track on this latest information here, and you can see Sun River, Terrence, Moments, and Grant Park. Grant Park by 6:04. That is still within the time allotted for this particular warning, which is 6:15. And just to give you an indication of where we're talking at right here, this double blue line right here, this is the Illinois-Indiana state line. So right now we're talking about most of the activity as far as the potential for a tornado to be in Illinois. But if you're in Lake County in northwest Indiana, also parts of Newton County in northwest Indiana, take cover. Make sure you have your cell phone with you. Bring your charger along too if you can, but get to that safe space. Talking about an interior room of your house, bathroom works great, any place away from windows. More people are hurt from flying glass than anything else. And one other thing of note, we don't need pictures, okay? If going outside to take a picture of this is what you want to do, just don't listen to yourself. Get to that safe space. We would much rather have you safe than take a picture of all of this stormy activity here. But as you can see, it continues to move its way, and it's been racing off to the east at around 45 miles an hour. You can see the hail size around ½ an inch. So we've been dealing with a lot of hail as far as the storm goes. But the storm path continues to take it into northwest Indiana. So far behind it, we haven't had anything reissued as far as the the tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings go. So the hope is that once we get through this line, we'll continue to see the warnings being dropped here. We'll put the rain on here for you so you can get an idea of what's going on as far as the precipitation goes. You can see when we get into those shades of purple, that's where we're looking at some very heavy rain associated with this. You can see the heavy rain right at the top of the map there. That's indicating the very heavy rain starting to move over into the lake. But we don't have any new warnings. We have got quite a bit of rain on the backside of this, but no new warnings have been associated with this. We do now have, you can see, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that is now in effect for parts of Lake County and also into Porter County in northwest Indiana, also northern Newton and Jasper counties. That one is in effect until 6:45 this evening. But our continued focus continues to be this tornado warning now for just Lake County, northwestern Lake County and northwest Indiana. That's until 6 o'clock this evening, and the one further south, the tornado warning, until 6:15. And Aisha, you got a little bit more information on the precipitation intensity, because again, we're looking at very heavy rain.
Oh, the rain is coming down very heavily. So not only are we dealing with the storm that's actually rotating, and I do want to mention too, the National Weather Service has not confirmed that a tornado is on the ground, although I have been getting some pictures, but I'm going to wait and go with the National Weather Service to see exactly what they are watching for here and to see if we do actually have anything actually touch down. But I do just want to show you live Doppler 5 at the moment, because this is the storm that's moving off to the east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour that prompted that tornado warning. So I do just want to put a track on it for you, because say for instance, if you're in LaPorte County or if you're in Porter County, you're dry and you're quiet for right now, so you're probably thinking, what tornado warning? What's coming our way? Well, this storm is moving off to the east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So I want to put that track on it for you just to show you where it is going, because yes, it is coming your way too. So even if the National Weather Service does not extend this tornado warning, this storm is still producing some very gusty winds, and that could obviously cause some damage. So this will move into Gary just about 5:50. It moves into Valparaiso almost 6:15, Michigan City about 6:30, and then LaPorte just after 6:30 moves into Olive about 7:53. So again, this is the line of storms that is actually producing that rotation and prompted the National Weather Service to go ahead and issue that warning. So as Pete mentioned, we not only have this tornado warning, but we also have the one farther to the south across parts of eastern Kankakee County and also parts of Newton County as well. So Pete, I'm just going to double check chat and make sure that we don't have anything new.
Yeah, so far the only new stuff that we have, the National Weather Service issuing this severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45 for pretty much basically our northwest Indiana viewing area, extending all the way through Porter County here. We still have this sliver of a tornado warning in effect until 6 o'clock. So just a few more minutes. You can see most of the rotation has outrun that warning area, which is not uncommon, and it also has weakened just a little bit. Let's zoom in on that so we can show you what's going on with the rotation right around Gary. So there might be a little bit of a swirling of the clouds overhead and some very gusty winds associated with this. But so far, as Aisha pointed out, we have not had any confirmation that any of this tornadic activity has reached the ground. Now, one thing I will point out, when Aisha and I were here on Friday night and into early Saturday, we had numerous tornado warnings. We didn't have anything confirmed on the ground at the time, but the National Weather Service did send out survey teams and found that 4 tornadoes did touch down, 3 F0s and 1 F1 tornado. So even though we have not had any recent confirmation, that does not rule out the fact that, hey, the National Weather Service, they're going to go back, they're going to look at some of the damage patterns, and they might indeed confirm that a tornado did touch down for a brief period of time. So that's why we bring you these tornado warnings, to let you know, hey, make sure you're in a safe space. You're away from windows. More people get hurt by flying glass than anything else. You're in an interior room of your house. If you have a basement, go into the basement. Best location in the basement, underneath the stairs. The framing of the house is very beefy. There's usually some walls and a lot of framing above your head that will ensure that you're in a much safer area here. But you can see here's the rotation associated with it. Most of it getting ready to move over the lake here. This can particular warning, as you can see, goes until 6 o'clock this evening. Let's slide a little bit further south because we do have one other warning area to tell you about. And you can see the rotation has picked up just a little bit. This is the northern edge of this particular tornado warning. This one expires actually at 6:15. And you can see, again, here's that little bit of an S shape. And if you look at the legend, you see the word strong associated with those magenta colors. And there's quite a bit of those magenta colors in there, indicating that we have some pretty good rotation with it. There's the latest scan. As you can see, the rotation has diminished a little bit in intensity. That's the good news, but we'll slide this a little bit further south. So as you can see, we're looking at the southeastern part of Kankakee County, also into Newton County here, that still has that tornado warning that expires at 6:15. And Aisha, we mentioned this before. The good news is we haven't had anything extended or reissued behind this current line, and the National Weather Service has dropped the severe thunderstorm warning for Will County and also for Cook County. So hopefully that's the end of at least this chapter of this current storm, but there's another chapter waiting to be written.
Oh, there certainly is, Pete. We're just getting started at this point. Now, Pete talked about the tornado warnings with those particular storms, but I do want to mention, because there have been numerous hail reports coming in too, and so I want to show you the hail tracker. This is with the storm that's pushing through Kankakee at the moment. You'll notice some of that lighter blue showing up, so that indicates hail that's actually close to or even right around 1 inch, and that will also, I should say, prompt a severe thunderstorm. But with this, we've seen this track. This is over the past 3 hours, these storms leaving hail in their wake too. So yes, while we are tracking the tornado warnings, and that's certainly most important, these storms have also been producing quite a bit of hail, as well as some very, very gusty winds. And so you do want to make sure, as Pete has been talking about these 2 tornado warnings, and we've been watching these storms pretty much all evening, you do want to make sure that you are in your safe place. If you are in Lake County, in Porter County, in Newton County, even Jasper County. Now, while you may not be under a tornado warning at the moment, the farther you go to the east, this storm certainly could continue to intensify, or at least hold its intensity, and the National Weather Service could extend it. But they've been scaling back on this particular one, Pete, that's actually pushing into Lake County, so that may not be the case.
Yeah, actually, the National Weather Service has indicated that at 6 o'clock, that warning area for Lake County and Northwest Indiana, this one right here, will be allowed to expire. The rotation associated with it, as I showed you earlier, we'll show it to you one more time really quick here. The rotation associated with it, here it is. And as you can see, it is outrun the warning area, so that warning will be allowed to expire at 6 o'clock. That will leave us with this other tornado warning that we're looking at here. This is parts of eastern Will County, and now we're into Newton County in Northwest Indiana. We're looking at that tornado warning until 6:15. The good news is the rotation has weakened considerably, but we've seen this rotation weaken. We've seen it intensify. We've seen it weaken again. And then this is in an area that has yet to have any thunderstorm activity. The atmosphere is still rather warm, and it's still rather humid. So we're going to keep an eye on this particular cell right on through 6:15 to make sure that it also will not be part of the warning area or reissued and re-extended here. But it's been a rather busy afternoon with these tornado warnings, and as you can see, as we put the rainfall on it from Live Doppler 5, there is a lot of heavy rain that has been associated with this. I'll slide this out just a little bit more so you can see Northwest Indiana still looking at some very heavy rain, some gusty winds out of this. That's why this blue area that you see, this blue box, that's where we have a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 6:45. So again, if you're traveling on I-90, I-94, I-80 in this part of the state, very busy. If you know anybody who's there, very busy corridor, have them pull off at the next exit and kind of hold on. There's numerous truck stops, so there's no shortage of places to pull over and park safely. Certainly pulling over on the highway or pulling over on an underpass, not recommended. That's just dangerous considering the heavy rain and also the dusty conditions prior to the rain that we've seen. That's why we've had the colors of the sky turning orange and yellowish as a result of the dust storms. So we're looking at the heavy rain here in the northern part of that watch area, and then we're continuing to monitor this tornado warning until 6:15. We'll put the shear back on there so that you can see this too has begun to outrun the warning area. So that's kind of bad news, good news. If you're in Hebron, Lowell rather, here's 231, Couts, La Crosse. Be prepared to go to your safe space. Have your cell phone handy. Get ready to run for cover just in case. But so far, we've seen this kind of weaken in intensity. And as you can see, we just dropped that warning. So Aisha, what is the latest on that warning? Perhaps that got dropped as well?
Yeah, it looks like they've dropped the warning, the tornado warning at the moment. Hold on, let me go back. It looks like they did drop the warning, but we still have that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 6:45, and that's for Northwest Indiana. So we're watching this entire line that's moving through Northwest Indiana. So this line, although the tornado warning, it looks like they dropped, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but they do still have tornado possible, even with the severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Northwest Indiana. So we're not completely out of the woods just yet. So that severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:45. That does include Lake and Porter counties, and that's also for 1-inch hail. So remember I mentioned that these storms, yes, they've been prompting tornado warnings, but they've also been producing hail, 1-inch hail possible with these storms. So if you're in Lake and Porter counties, go ahead and get to your safe place just in case that a tornado does quickly spin up here. Again, tornado possible, but outside of that, we've got some very gusty winds, upwards of 70 miles per hour that we're watching with this particular line of storms, Pete.
Yeah, Aisha, the good news is we no longer have any active tornado warnings. The one that I had showed you previously in Kankakee County and into Newton County, Northwest Indiana, that was canceled early, and the other warning that was in effect for northwestern Lake County and Northwest Indiana, that one has been allowed to expire. So far, we do not have any active tornado warnings. We still continue to watch this. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Northwest Indiana until 6:45. We still have this potentially heavy line of rain that's moving its way on through. Behind it, rain, and after that, Aisha, we're going to be looking at apparently a return to winter.
Yeah, we've got snow to deal with, Pete. I know. We've had a lot going on over the past, week or so. I think this is the second time now we're dealing with severe storms and then snow on the backside of it. So this is what has been going on. We've got this storm system that's been tracking across the area, and we've had this line of severe storms that have prompted a couple of tornado warnings. All of the warnings have now expired, so we're done with the tornado warnings for now, but there is still a severe thunderstorm warning for Lake and Porter counties until 6:45. A tornado is still possible with this severe thunderstorm warning. Outside of that, these storms are certainly producing 1-inch hail, but also wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. And I just want to show you really quickly the storm that we're talking about here. I'm going to zoom out the view because this is the line that did have the rotation associated with it that prompted that tornado warning, or those tornado warnings. But now, again, the National Weather Service has issued that severe thunderstorm warning instead. So we'll keep an eye on this for you and certainly keep you posted and cut in if we do need to. All right, the NBC News 5 News at 6 starts right now, Stephen.